Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday Paranormal Morning Coffee Talk. And I got shit falling all over the place, so bear with me. Copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted material without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use, which is the Copyright Act of 1976. YouTube, remember that, YouTube. Nighthawk High Strange's podcast channel. All the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content, including the music, YouTube, including the music, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, which makes allowances for purposes such as criticism, parody, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, and let's not forget the entertainment value. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. And furthermore, we use UCut app for all of our outro and intros on the channel and all of our music on the channel, and any video splicing that we do is used through UCut app, which is a free app, and it's a very good app, actually. You watch a couple commercials, maybe 30 seconds long, and you get all the free information, free music, all kinds of stuff. Excuse me, got the hiccups. But that being said, we're going to get into it. We're going to say hello to everybody in the comment section and our brother Eric, who is patiently waiting for me to shut up. Good morning, Eric.
Morning, bro. Hey, Bounty.
Alrighty. Let me see. I'm going to go from the very beginning. Good morning, David. What the heck? I had it on the beginning, and something happened to move it all the way to the end. All right. David. There's that bizarre and unknown guy. Kyle. I know Kyle's working, but it's good to see him in here. And everybody keep Dennis Carroll in your prayers. Apparently, Kyle said that he's not moving around very good, so just keep him in your prayers. Thank you. All right. Let's see. We have... Come on, where is everybody here? Boy, this computer is really... Roxanne, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Roxanne's one of our mods. She's awesome. She kicks ass, and she keeps Eric in line. And let's
Tell her
see.
Munchers go flying out.
Yep. We have... Who else? We got Urso, who's also a mod in the chat. Good to see you, Urso. Good to have you here. Thank you for everything you do. Let's see. Who else we got? We got Reddish Tipped Savage. Okay, good to see you. All right, Gemini Moon, good to see you. Been a long time. Good to see you. Let's see here. Who else we got? Come on now, folks. Vicky, good to see you. Good to see Vicky in the house. Daryl, good to see you. There's that Melissa Lester. Good to see you, Melissa. Shen Valley girl. Oh, inside joke. Inside joke. All right. Let's see here. Who else we got? I know we got others. Bounty Hunter, good to see you. Okay. I know we got others. They're just hiding. They're just like Camo Dad. Good to see you. All right. It's a party now. Camo Dad's
hey,
here.
Randy.
Let's see.
Hey, Deidre.
Yep, Rhonda, Deidre. I think that's everybody.
I think so.
Yep. I said Daryl,
so.
But yeah, I think that's everybody. Anyways, did you get any sleep?
Dude, I fell asleep right after the show. I didn't even get my parabolic mic out. I crawled my fat butt in bed, and I was out until 7 o'clock this morning.
Oh, well, so you didn't do any homework?
No, God, no, man. And I got up and I laid in bed for a little bit. I let the dogs out, laid back in bed for a little bit. 7:30, hey, Lori. I got up and was cleaning my coffee maker and doing some dishes and cooking breakfast.
Yeah. Well, the subject we're going to start with is a very, very fascinating subject, and I got to thank George McPhillips, one of my friends on Facebook, for recommending it to talk about because every now and then we take recommendations from everybody in the chat and all that to have certain topics discussed that are interest to them. And he's our brother from the UK. And I told him, yeah, why not? I'll research it and tell you what I find out. And what I found out was pretty interesting. It's called the
Mm-hmm.
Dinopithecus. Okay. And it's said to be extinct genus species of like the large baboons that are in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And when I mean large baboons, I'm talking something maybe 3 or 4 feet at the shoulders and when it's walking on all fours. Well, this one, they have found specimens up to almost 10 feet on the shoulder, okay, for the largest. And the smallest one found was 5 to 6 feet at the shoulder on all fours. So it could make this thing, if it stood on its back legs, anywheres from 9 foot tall on up to anywheres around 18 to 19 feet tall. Very, very big, big, big monkey. Okay. Big monkey chase. Big monkey chase me. All right.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is a monster. This thing is an absolute monster. Okay. And just looking at that one picture there in the center of that book says it all. That even the massiveness of it. The rear leg profiles of it remind me of a dog man, by the way. Um, and a couple other things we're going to be discussing too. This thing is big enough in the smallest version of it to bring down game. It's pretty much close to its same size. Okay, this thing used to hunt the zebras and stuff over there. And it's my belief that this thing has basically um, made its way from Ethiopia and South Africa during the Pliocene and Pliocene age. Okay, and also via basically merchant ships. Okay. And the reason I say that this thing made its way to the North American continent where it wasn't a part of originally is because in the old world, when the old merchants would pick up cargo and stuff, all kinds of creatures and stuff would stow away in the cargo bays. Okay.
War was
Certain
sold.
yeah, certain species of monkeys, certain species of cat, certain species of rodent. I mean, you name it, even insect. Okay, that's how the Chinese stink bug came to America. It came on a cargo ship, and we got inundated with stink bugs. So it happens. It does happen. And the more I did research on it, the more I was just fascinated with the whole topic because it checks off so many boxes on reports of things that have been seen and encountered by very reliable witnesses. And we all know that from history that we have investigated certain accounts that basically this graph here I just love. But can you imagine that thing being almost 9 to 12 foot at the shoulder on all fours? That thing would look like a freaking
Mm-hmm.
biggest wolf you'd ever see. Um, but one thing that I find very fascinating about the Dinopithecus is that it literally looks exactly like the modern day baboons. And reports of this
Mm-hmm.
type of baboon are coming out of Alaska, believe it or not, along the Kenai Peninsula there, the Kenai Peninsula. Um, and reports have been spotted all around the lower 48 states um, with reports of this creature called the devil monkey. Okay. which bears a striking resemblance to the
Mm-hmm.
Dinopithecia. Okay, it really does. It bears a very, very striking appearance, especially when it looks pissed off. I'll show you the side by side. There's that. Okay, that's the Dinopitheca, and there's the devil monkey. I mean, they're literally twins. Okay, literally twins. Okay, so this thing was massive. Okay, and reports of dog man being seen on the side of a road eating, roadkill, coming out of, you know, that certain road in a certain area in Wisconsin. Um, Donna Winks is pretty much the premier expert in that right now. But out of reports of that area, but to me, it's not far off from the descriptions that have been seen in dogman encounters. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and this was brought up in when I posted this information online on social media, and Ryan backed me up on it, thank God. But somebody came back at me and said that, though, it can't be mistaken for the dog man. The dog man has ears that are standing up and pointy. No, not every report of a dog man even mentioned ears. Okay, most of them are tufts of hair that could be sticking up. Okay, it could be matted hair. It could be, any type of reason for the hair to be sticking together. Okay, and yes, I'm not saying every dogman report is this cryptid, but I'm saying that every now and then, when adrenaline is flowing through us, and we're still in shock after not visually believing what we saw, sometimes our mind doesn't really perceive things exactly as they were. Okay, sometimes they're either exaggerated or they're just not mentioned at all. We blank it out. Okay, and David probably can tell you more about that because he's an ex-cop too. So and it's just something that happens when the human body becomes fearful. Okay, and all that the stress levels go up and that adrenaline flows, and our hearts are pumping, and oh yeah, this thing was 9 feet tall and here it was only 6 feet tall. It's that kind of a thing. Did the suspect have a white shirt or a red shirt? Well, I can't remember. I think it was a white shirt. How sure are you? 50% sure. Okay, well, you're 50% sure. It means you're 50% not sure. So we're not going to list it. But this is the situation I have with this thing. Okay. This thing, there is a picture, and I tried looking for it. I had it on my computer of a suspected gugway or a dog man holding something like a rabbit in its arms and standing in the bushes and tree line. And I can't find that picture for the life of me, but I swear to God, you put this beast next to that picture and you've got what was captured in that picture, standing on two legs. It's the exact image of this. Okay, the exact image. It's just not, opening up and showing its teeth. Okay, now this thing being massively big can also look like a dog, as you can tell by the hair sticking up on that. You know, it could be misconstrued as a dog if you're seeing this not up close. Okay, plain and simple. It wouldn't be far to believe that someone's thinking they saw a dog man or seeing this creature. Okay, now this creature, the reason I keep on saying this, has been spotted. Its bones and skull have been found in Ohio. Okay. In the 1800s, there was a skull found Okay, a baboon skull, a big one. And in 1980s, there was one found with bones, around it too. So there are two sets of skeletons that make this thing basically connected to being here. Okay, so
Mhm.
I really do believe that this could be part of what people are seeing. What do you think?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's that fits the description on quite a, like you said, I mean, with certain type of what they call dog man, that I'm not a fan of calling them dog man because they don't look like a dog man. Could it be a prime example of Guggly? Absolutely. I mean, everything fits the bill.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep. And I
you know,
remember we had Matt Emps on from Planet 420 or 412, and he talked about his dogman encounter that he had in Ohio, and he
mhm.
described it as having a long tail like this thing. Okay,
Yeah.
and as big as it was. Now, that very well could have been what Matt saw that night so many years ago in 19, what I think it was, he said it was 87. Okay. And it was in
Mhm.
Ohio around, I think he said North Lima, Ohio, somewhere around there. Um, but, yes, it is very compelling, Twisted. You know, this is something that I think that science has gotten too quick at saying is extinct. And I think it just relocated to the North American continent. I really do. And I think this is responsible for a lot of the sightings that we're seeing. Because if this thing, just on average size, common size being seen 6 feet at the shoulder, just think about how big that thing is going to be. It's going to be between 9 and 12 feet tall, standing up on its hind legs. This very well could be what everybody's seeing. And it's not even far off if you don't get a good look at the face of it, like this picture. If you don't see the face of it that good and it's dark, it's very, very much so. You could even misconstrue it for something like this,
Mhm.
which which is the Gigantopithecus.
Which I believe is still around as well.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, look at the difference. There's hardly any difference in the build. You know, even the hair, hardly any
Mhm.
difference. How the top hair down to the waist is longer than the buttocks and the hind legs. You know, it's amazing the
Yep.
similarities to a lot of the reports, and I'm interested to see what everybody has to think or say about this in the chat. And I hope
Mhm.
Jessica's listening or listens to this later, um, and takes a look at this because it's really fascinating. The stuff that I learned about this thing, um, you know, and then finding the bones and stuff and the skulls and stuff, and how it could very well be the devil monkey reports, which is this is a drawing from one of the people that spotted the
Mhm.
devil monkey. It could very well be a devil monkey. It could very well be that, misconstrued as another type of an ape species. It can be misconstrued as a dog man. I'm a firm believer that this thing is probably responsible for, I'd say, at least 40% of the sightings altogether. And that's my low ball estimate. So, and this thing is definitely a carnivore, by the teeth, and by every account of history that I checked, there is plenty of game, including human, around to sustain this thing to live for several thousand years in North America without being spotted.
Mhm.
Now, what do you think?
Oh yeah, and Camera Dad, I got it. Yeah, I know that picture very well. You're talking about with the seven shoots. To me, that looks like a gigantopithecus, more of a Bigfoot thing. But I mean, I can see with a protruded snout where Gigantopithecus could be very well what that thing is.
Uh,
Which I've got that where I can people so people know what we're talking about here.
yeah, that's fine.
Um, you can see there's a big difference between a baboon and what this thing looks like.
Yeah, blow that up.
This is more gorilla style. Uh, okay, I'll have to save it. Hold on. But you can see where this is more gorilla style, not baboon, and why I think it's more of a candidate for a Gigantopithecus. Which this is also the most common picture people call for a gugwe.
Yep, and I'm a firm believer that the more you look at that picture, the closer you look at the face of it, you can see it has a snout.
It does, and that's why I was thinking Gigantopithecus because the body built and the head fits more on that than it does a baboon. If I'm waiting on it to load up, it's taking a minute.
But
Speaking
I'm just,
of dog,
all the research I did, this thing is vicious, it's aggressive, and it's every bit of aggressive as the gugwe has been reported to being, as the devil monkey's been reported being, and as dogman has been reported being.
Mm-hmm.
So it very well could be misconstrued as any one of those three cryptids, including the actual, even the rebobs out of California. It could even be misconstrued as that being up in the trees, So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not rocket science, folks, but I do believe the Dinopithecus is here in the United States. I really do. And I think sooner or later we're going to actually confirm that amount, that fact of that amount that I said this morning so far with a body. I really do. Somebody is going to bring down a body, I'd say within the next couple of years. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see here how it's got the head just like a gorilla, the face, the eyes, everything looks like a gorilla, the shoulders, the chest, the body. That's why I think this would be more along the lines of Gigantopithecus. This is just my opinion, my observation.
All right. Yeah.
Which, I mean, like I said, this is a leading contender for a gugwe. It could be.
I just think that dome on the top of the head is a little bit more higher than your average Bigfoot. And that's just from my interactions with them. We know there's distinctively 4 different types. Now, could this have been one of the types that made its way to South America and came up that way? Maybe this is the one that everybody's seeing in the Florida Everglades and whatnot, very well could be. But to me, the crown on the skull of that is a lot higher than what I've seen on encounters that I've had with Bigfoot, and the color is just off. That's the color on the head and the face and the snout remind me of a baboon. It does. So, and it's really not far off. I mean, when you compare, to a Gigantopithecus and this Dinopithecus, it's remarkably can be the same animal. It really could. There's a Gigantopithecus, and there's the Dinopithecus. I mean, it very well could be misconstrued as the same animal. So, I don't know. It's going to take a body. It's going to take a body, unfortunately, and I hate to say that because I'm a big advocate for not killing them. But with this species particularly, as aggressive and as dangerous it is to humanity and livestock, I wouldn't be probably too far off to think that this is the reason for a lot of the violent encounters, a lot of the vicious attacks, because of the aggressive nature of this Dinopithecus. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just my 2
Yeah,
cents.
and Daryl, he's holding 2 dogs. He's got a dog under each hand. So you remember the image of that the reason why I say on that is because look at his head structure. Oh man, I
Yeah,
exited
but
out of
that's a
that deal. Hold
silverback.
on.
Yeah, that's a
It's
silverback
true,
though. So
but look,
the crown on that's going to be a lot larger than the crown on a Bigfoot.
correct. But oh yeah, I do have access to your one pictures. Never mind. Ha! I keep forgetting. My brain is still trying to wake up. You look at that picture where there's no dome on the head. It's kind of flat, right? And I gotta get back in here because I accidentally exited out of that one. Pictures. There we go. Come on, load back up for me, baby. Load back up for me, baby. There we go. So you can see that's very domed, which fits with.
I don't know if that's domed or
This
if that's just like a natural slope of the head. I just don't.
could be. I mean, oh, here's a good example. With
Yeah, but
that,
see how round the face is. Go
mm-hmm.
back to the other one. It's more slender. The face is more slender in that, like a baboon.
And this is a gorilla. And then you can kind of see where the eyes, the cheek, kind of fits it. And that's why I've always been under that impression. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Right.
Based off of the study of gorillas and stuff like that, they are to me more gorilla-like.
I don't know. What does everybody in the chat think? Give us your comments in the chat. Does it look more like a gorilla or does it look more like a baboon?
Yeah, they do, Roxanne. I can't play those sadly on here because I'll get in trouble, but yeah, they do. Which sucks. We should be able to analyze stuff and go through it.
Well, that's why I try to load up as many pictures as I can. But I think we've got 100% match for the devil monkey at the very least, and probably a 50-50 match to the dog man. Because
hey, Divergent.
Even Matt, when he had his encounter back in 1987 in Ohio, said that it had a long cat-like tail. Okay, well, this thing has a long cat-like tail, and it looks like a dog, especially when it's at night and you only have the light of a bonfire around. So I do believe that it's Savage is going to ride the center.
I mean, y'all welcome.
You're not going to.
For me,
yeah, you're not going to offend anybody here, guys. I mean, if you know, it's just opinions and stuff and theories is all it is. You know, Eric and I, we don't claim to be experts. So,
and this is why this is good to have this discussion, because you're looking at 2 different point of views on this, which each one of us can share our own opinion of why we think the way we did, and that's why I showed those.
Exactly.
Showed his pictures.
There's no arguing. There's no arguing either. No bickering back and forth. Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. No, I'm the professional. No, you're no. There's none of that. You know, there's no backstabbing going on here. We support each other and each other's opinions and theories on this channel. And that's why a lot of people like coming here and talking with us, because
Mm-hmm.
we basically tell people where the bear shits in the woods. They can leave their attitude
Mm-hmm.
at the door, and just
Yep.
talk from here. And we're not going to laugh or shrug off people's opinions or theories at any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
This is merely my theory with it coming over here on board ships and stuff, and basically
Mm-hmm.
surviving here. Like a lot of species that come from other areas of the world that do when they come on board carrier or ships and crates, and you know, so it's not far fetched. It really isn't. And the comparison to
Something.
the sightings of the devil monkey is remarkable.
Yeah. The one thing I get to look at this picture here, and we know things adapt to the environment. So the times have changed. Food may not be what it used to be. It's harder to get. Could it have been that they were this size at one time, and now they've kind of went down to this because of food? That is also a possibility.
Yep,
I mean, we'd be doing a very bad disservice if we did not put that in there. Because I
right,
mean, we know heights of things change all the time. Look at humans. Humans have changed their heights back and forth a lot throughout the
exactly,
generations.
exactly. Yep,
And so this well could be what we're seeing, that they were one time at this large here, Dinopithecus, to the large male baboon now.
exactly.
Now there's, if memory serves me correctly, um, I believe baboons are starting to get larger now. I
Yeah,
can't remember. I need to look into it some more. But if that's the case,
yeah.
are they reverting back to what this is?
Yeah, the information I got on the large male baboon was that it gets 3 to 4 feet at the shoulder, the front shoulder, on all fours,
Mm-hmm.
which is still, when that thing stands up, it's going to be taller than the average 6 foot tall being, so
Mm-hmm.
it's still going to be something,
Yeah.
that there are smaller reports of dog men that 6 feet tall could be this thing, could be a baboon, it
Mm-hmm.
really could.
Could be.
So
Yeah. And you got to think of something too. Where did it go? Oh, right there. Um, if these things were still around when humans were shipping stuff around the world, people with money is going to pay a high dollar for something like this for a Dinopithecus. We know
mhm.
that is what rich people have done for generations upon generations upon generations. Could that be how we
Yep.
got them here? It's because somebody with money wanted one so they can brag, saying, "Look what I got, what you don't have." Ha 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 ha.
Yep.
That's why we
Or
have certain things in this country that we've never had before.
yep. Just look at all the lions that people own and taggers and stuff that people buy for exotic pets. And then people wonder why they're
Mm-hmm.
seeing these huge cats that look like tigers and lions out in the middle of nowhere in the forest, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when they aren't an actual animal that was, part of the original environment here in North America. Well, it's because people brought
Mm-hmm.
them here, and they probably bred with another cat and didn't want to be able to, take care of the offspring, so they released the offspring into the wild, and
Mm-hmm.
boom, hence you got big cats being reported everywhere. I mean, this shit happens every freaking day, you know people
Mm-hmm.
buy these exotic. I mean, look at the snake species in Florida. You got the rock python. You got this the anaconda. You got the boa. You got the
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of different iguanas now all over the place down there. You know, people do this shit all the time. They buy these exotic animals thinking, oh, I can take care of it. I can take care of it. But all it takes is for somebody to lose a freaking job, and they're releasing that shit into the wild, into the Everglades,
Mm-hmm.
into ponds. There was a report, and I think it was out by you in the area in Missouri, of somebody that went swimming in a pond and they got bit by piranha. Now, how are
That was
piranha
in
going to
Vegas.
be in a how are piranha
And
going
I've
to be in a
seen,
pond in a lake? Okay.
mhm,
How are they
and I've
unless
seen them
they're
in
dumped
rivers.
there? Yeah.
Yep, I've seen them in rivers.
So
You
yeah, I
know,
mean,
um,
people do that shit all the
and,
time.
I had this up earlier. I mean, this inner Earth. If the inner Earth theory is correct, like many suggest it is, which is a very good possibility, is that where they're coming from? I
That's a
mean,
very
he's got a
good.
great
That's a
point.
very good.
He does.
Yeah, that's a very good possibility on that. I like that comment. That's great. That's the kind of
Mm-hmm.
thinking we need. We need that kind of out of the
Mm-hmm.
box thinking of there's got to be some reason for these things to be seen all around the world and especially in North America, you know, because we got reports of
Mm-hmm.
them coming all the way out of Alaska. We got reports all the way down
Mm-hmm.
south into Alabama and with the devil monkeys and stuff. I mean, it's really a connection we really should. Yeah, and it could even possibly look like a hyena in the face. I would imagine if it was,
Mm-hmm.
you know, bulkier in the face. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not that far fetched that this thing and Gigantopithecus could both be living here and basically battling each other for dominancy for being the alpha predator.
Mm-hmm. And in that comment that, and I'm going to mess your name up, and I apologize right now. Amulus, if they are using the caves of the inner Earth, I'm a big, big, big subscriber. That's how they move around. That could
Yep,
also be how we're getting to see them here. Very good.
exactly.
I mean, yeah, Camel Dad, exactly. Good way to travel. Yes, exactly. I mean that we can't. We would be doing it a disservice if we did not put that in there as well.
Meat's back on the table, boys.
Yeah, man, back on the menu, boys. Yeah, Roxanne, yes, alligators have been seen in our lakes and rivers. That's because people are releasing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I had a buddy that I was in school with um, all the way to sixth grade, and he had a pet alligator. And he started out
Mm-hmm.
with like a 30-gallon fish tank, and this alligator was like 2 feet long. Well, that sucker grew to over 7 feet long very quickly. And
Mm-hmm.
he had to turn it over to a zoo. His parents made him turn it over to a zoo because they couldn't afford to feed it anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
if they weren't responsible parents back then, they probably would have released it to the wild like so many countless other people have done.
Yeah. This brings up a very good point, which is another theory of why they could be here. He's talking about here the animals are more vicious in the earth because those are more of a prehistoric time period and have different frames of mind and less domestication from interaction with harmless creatures.
I agree
That
100%.
could be
Yep.
why if the military is getting their hands on these things for weaponization, could also be why we're seeing these things because of this point right here. They're very vicious because they're prehistoric time periods, which I'm a firm believer. I believe that if there's possibly of seeing more dinosaurs than what we see now, is going to be more on the inner Earth than there is on going to be on the
Right.
shell.
And I
This
will
would
say
fit.
this. Yeah, I will say this too, Eric, and everybody in the chat. And
Mhm.
thank you for that comment. That makes perfectly good sense. Um, I would
Mhm.
say there's more. I'm 95% positive they're using cave systems and caverns from inner Earth. Because it's just like that picture I put up the other day. This thing. Think about it. You have the cave system and inner Earth right there. And then it shows how
Mhm.
there's waterways and stuff underground. You know, I mean, this thing could travel aimlessly throughout the whole world,
Mhm.
basically, and pop up and leave whenever it wants. And there were reports coming out of India of people being attacked on their rooftops by an aggressive ape-like creature, and I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't this creature. I really wouldn't be surprised. Um, I mean, there's so much to our world we do not understand and do not see. Um, but yeah, I definitely agree with them being, so aggressive because of the prehistoric environment,
Mhm.
being more dangerous. You have bigger other predators that want to have you for lunch. So yeah, you're going to walk around completely pissed off and angry all the time. So, and that would make sense to why so many people are making these reports of dog man and devil monkeys and all this, because we're giving this thing several different names. Just like with
Mhm.
Bigfoot, all around the world, Bigfoot are called different things. The Yeti,
Mhm.
the Yeren, the you know, Yahweh,
Mhm.
all over the place. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous the different names and stuff that we give things. So that's just my
Yep.
theory too.
No,
Uh,
they did not, Twisted. They did not catch all the monkeys that escaped. There's reports here in Missouri of monkeys being seen in trees. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, these are all good theories. These are all good possibilities. Each one of them has a credible evidence
mhm.
to suggest why this is such a good thing. Good morning, Jason. Why this
Jason.
is a good, why people believe the way they do. I don't know. I mean, I personally don't know. I believe one way because of what my research has led me to is the reason why. But even I've been known to change my opinions because more credible evidence has came up, and this reason why I changed my opinion on things
Yep.
because we don't know. We're not
Yeah,
sitting
Matt.
here singing "Kumbaya" and eating
Yeah,
s'mores and telling
yeah.
stories. We're not doing that.
Yeah, right, exactly. Matt Emps was on Bill Rigby's podcast, and those of you that don't know Bill Rigby, look him up on Facebook and follow him and subscribe to his channel. He's got a podcast channel too. He's out of
Mhm.
Ohio, and he had Matt on there the other day, sometime last week, I believe, and he described what he saw, and the description of what he described was every bit of what this thing is, with a
Mhm.
long cat-like tail, looked like a dog, had dog hind legs and long raccoon-like hands. um it fit the whole thing to a T. um I would almost like to say, let's find Matt and send him these pictures that I have and see what he thinks. Because I
Mhm.
honestly believe that this might have been what Matt and his three other buddies, when they were youngsters, in 1987, encountered. So I really do. I'm a firm
Mhm.
believer on it. So it makes perfectly good sense. It matches all the criteria that Matt said. Everything: teeth, size, tail, front hands, rear legs, everything. Even the
Yep.
hair being longer in the top section of the body than and shorter on the backside. So it matched everything that he said. So I'm under the belief that this thing is still here, and this is what a lot of people are seeing. Now, am I going to be the only investigator researcher that feels that way? No, I'm not. But the odds are in the favor that this thing does exist still, and that science declared it extinct, like many other species of animals and
Mhm.
wildlife and insect that they do, long before they're extinct. So
Mhm. Hey, I'll be right back. I got a dog knocking on the door wanting back in.
make sure it's not a man.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll be right back.
uh, but anyways, yeah, I mean, this is just my opinion, everybody. So comments and stuff would be greatly appreciated in the chat. Let me see here. Hey, Lori, good to see you again. Okay, let me find a good chat here. Okay. Let's see. Girl with the gongs in the house. Good to see you. Juno, good to see you, brother. Let's see here. Okay, I don't see anybody saying anything about that. Oh, thank you. There we go. Please hit that like, subscribe, share, and then hit the buttons. Hit all the buttons. Hit all them damn buttons. Mary, good to see you. Just hit them all. Hit them all. That's funny. Hey, Corey, good to see you. Val, good to see you. Yeah, Bill shows Agents of the Unexplained. That's correct. Yep, that's correct. And it was a good one. And everything that, and obviously, Val, you probably listened to it. But everything that Matt described is every bit of that picture. It's every bit of this picture of what he described. So I really am afraid. Even the hands, when he said that it was raccoon-like hands, take a look at the hands on that thing. Those are raccoon-like hands, but just a lot bigger.
Mhm.
Okay, like he said, and he even said it that way. He said raccoon hands, but a lot bigger. You know, so
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's all these are very good theories, very good
Yep.
possibilities.
Uh,
It's I mean, it'd be interesting to see what else comes out on these things. But I mean, the possibilities of these things being one thing or another, or coming from one spot to another. I mean, it's amazing. I wish the stuff would be leaked out. I really do, where we know what's going on. But the fact is, unless one of us catches and gets the evidence for ourselves, and even then, it's not going to be guaranteed because we can get a knock on the door and things could disappear. I don't think we're going to know the truth about this stuff.
right. Thank you, Twisted.
Paul, we're going to need a bigger gun.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we
That's
are.
going to make one hell of a blanket. I mean, that's going to make one hell of a blanket.
Yep. Could you imagine having a stuffed Dinopithecus? That's just that'd be incredible. But like I said, I don't advocate the killing of anything unless it's wanting to kill you first. So, but clearly this creature could definitely do it without a problem. And it's big enough to where I doubt it would even feel the first shot if you did shoot it with a 30-30 or something along that lines, or even a 9mm. And there's several investigators that I know go out in the field with a 9mm, which that's not even big enough to make a dent in a big bear. So
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm trying. Oh crap! Daggone it! Chat keeps jumping and I lose my spot. But yeah, I mean, if I had something like that in my living room, you don't think my fat butt ain't going to charge people to take a look at it? You're crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Barnum and Bailey, who?
Yeah. Hey, overbuilt. Oh.
Carl. Well, I mean, just think about it, Carl. I mean, it makes sense. It really does that these things got here either through being brought here by somebody that had a lot of money secretively that wanted to have a private zoo with this species in it, or it stole away on some old cargo ships back in the 17 and 1600s because it was still alive at the time in Africa and nobody reported it. You know, the possibility is endless. And it's like Eric said earlier. Species evolves every day. We have take me, he's 6 foot tall, but I have my youngest son is 6'7". I mean, it is, we have bigger species being, evolving every day, every year. So it's not uncommon to even think that there could be a gigantic species of this baboon Dinopithecus running around here in North America. It makes perfectly good sense. And the smaller ones could be the devil monkey, because they say that thing's 3 to 5 feet tall. Well, that makes, the giant male baboon a perfect candidate for that. Aggressive, very aggressive. So,
yeah. I mean, and like I said earlier, we'd be doing everybody a disservice if we didn't put those theories in our conversation. That's why I'll hit these theories up. So, I just lost what I was going to say. No, I mean, look at you. In your time frame, an average of a human was on roughly 5'6", 5'7". So you were huge for the people of your generation. My generation, people were on average of what I am, 5'9". That was an average for my generation. Generations now, their average is 6'4", between 6'2" and 6'4" is their average, and that's my generation. So I mean, you're seeing. Look back in the days of the Wild West. An average for a human back then was 5'4". We're already at 6'2", 6'4" now, and that's what, a couple hundred years. I mean, it's
savage. That's funny.
It's. I don't know. Do you think every race of animal reports back to a huge or overlord version of their species, and that's how they operate based on the huge overlord animal? I believe they have an alpha in each of the packs, but I don't believe there's for me, I don't believe there's an overlord version. No, I believe there's an alpha male and an alpha female, and that's who they report to, because that is something that we can verify in nature itself as we watch them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we for us to even speculate is just a guess. But yes, I would believe that they're more on the lines of like the African baboon when it comes to the Dinopithecus, because the giant baboon in Africa have an alpha pair, a female and a male, that controls the troop of family members and keeps them in line until another one steps up and challenges. And that's not uncommon with most species too. We see that occur in several other different types of species, from canines to ape to, you name it. Even bird species sometimes will do that, especially bald eagles, golden eagles, the condors. They have an alpha system. Just there's a lot of different animals around the world. Even raccoons have an alpha system, to tell you the truth. They always have a leader, someone to instigate into the garbage, So, yep. I mean,
well, a very good example. Look, the relationship between you and your animals in your home. You are the alpha in your home. Damn animals know that. They submit to you when they get in trouble. They listen to you when you tell them something. They greet you in the way that they greet their alpha. that is a prime example. You can witness yourself, and you don't even have to go out in nature to do it.
Yep. I mean, it's literally amazing. It really is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Monkeys are. And if you study how monkeys are and look how we are, we ain't much different. We're really not that much different. Monkeys, they murder, rape, raid, war. What do we do? I mean, same thing. Monkeys are known to commit cannibalism as well. What does some of our, human races do? I mean, if you actually study them, sit there and actually study each and every one of them, and you study humanity, there's really not a whole lot of difference between how they act. We are just a little bit more advanced than they are, but are we truly that more advanced, or are they?
Right, exactly.
They have a social group, they have a hierarchy, they have a government, they have everything. They have everything that we have. The only real true difference is we don't have a tail and we have less fur. They live in nature. We live in cave dwellings made of processed stuff into nature. I mean, yeah.
Sorry, I got to get more coffee.
No worries. But I mean, it's just true. I mean, just look at it. I mean, I love studying nature. I love studying animals and how they work and how they think. And I put a lot of that into my research when I'm dealing with cryptids. Yeah, I mean, we have a tailbone. I mean, if the theory of where we come from is true, we come from Homo erectus. That'd be a reason why we have a tailbone. They don't have IRS, but they do have their own government, Carl. That is another difference. We have an IRS, well, hopefully not soon, but we currently do have one, and they don't.
Carl, what are you going to do when you got to deliver your own packages?
Is it going to be a load?
He's going to deliver like that. What was that one Hollywood movie that came out about the male strippers where they spin the box and the package?
Oh, God. Chip and Dale?
I'm not sure what the name of it was, but yeah. It's that one where the male dancers had the package in front of them and they spun it. And Girl on the Gong, Carl and his packages. Yep.
Yeah.
Magic Mike. That's it. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Carl likes his packages.
That's all right, Carl. That's all right, buddy. That's all right.
Yeah, it is, man. If Dogman rolled on back exposing its stomach, do you know you're good? Yeah. Yeah. That's true. I mean, think about it. Look at the canine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Look at other species, and you can correlate that same exposing the vulnerable part to an alpha is the way to be accepted. So, or eaten, one of the two. Hopefully, it'll be accepted. So,
Deidre. Oh, Deidre.
Oh.
Do you think the Atlanteans had a whole had whale carcasses? Imagine a Titanic-sized whale with structures and ooh. I never, to be honest with you, I never considered putting that in my.
Well, if our government can make robot birds and drones that look like wildlife, I would say that another species like Atlanteans, who were obviously more advanced than we are, would probably be able to do the same thing in their environment. So that's probably a yes from me.
Mm. I mean, definitely a possibility. I never really considered that. So I mean, I'd have to put it in that plausible category. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's I kind of the whale cruise ship. Yeah. I mean, we know from Mesoamerican history through carvings on buildings and other stuff that humans rode dinosaurs, worked fields with dinosaurs, warred with dinosaurs. So them using if they're in the if the Atlantis is underwater, um, it would not be far fetched for them using animals for the same thing.
Right. Yeah, I could see them doing that. I mean, one of the smartest species on the planet is the dolphin. So yeah, I mean, and our own military is using them to arm them with mines and stuff to put on enemy ships. So I mean, it's not that
Mm-hmm.
far fetched. If dolphins can learn behavior, then you know other species can engineer things like that. Definitely. So
Mm-hmm. We know that they also plant bombs on them, and they have pressure switches on their noses to attack the ships, so that nothing can be linked back to them. You know, it's all that is. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I can see it.
yep. Hey, Poncho.
No, we are not, Ike. Hey, Poncho. I didn't see Poncho. I'm sorry. I seen Ike, but I didn't see Poncho. Sorry about that.
Oh, Ike's in the house
Um.
too. Okay. Good to see you, Ike.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean they do. I mean humans are not the most pleasant creatures on this planet. We're probably the most vicious and cruel creatures on this planet. We want to talk trash about all these animals that attack us. Look what we do to them.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, Ike is Poncho? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that makes sense why I didn't see Poncho. Dang you, Poncho, you're messing with me. Um,
Hey, Mary.
but I don't know. Yep. Um, say fish are. Daggone it. Uh, they say fish are the oldest relatives. Not sure whose oldest relative is the fish relative. Yeah.
Well, if you think about
Marine
that
mammals are
picture
the most.
of the Anunnaki, there is an
Mm-hmm,
Anunnaki in a picture holding the pine cone that has a fish suit on that resembles the
mm-hmm.
Pope's head piece that he wears all the time, the fish head. So, and he also carries the pine cone staff.
Yeah, yeah. When I remember, I had that picture from when I did the mermaid show, and that was dated back to ancient Sumerian with the Anunnaki because he had the fish suit.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
So,
obviously there are fractions of government and even religious sects that know that these things obviously exist. Um, from Atlantis to Dinopithecus to Anunnaki. I mean, there's so much that is being kept from humanity as a whole that, they're probably never going to come 100% clean with everything. They probably won't. Their biggest thing is they want to keep humanity under thumb and control them. Because we are literally a slave. We're a slave race. That's what we are. Okay. We were genetically manipulated to be a slave species to mine gold for Anunnaki and other entities such as the Naga. So, I mean, it is what it is,
Where is that photo? Where is that photo?
I said sect.
Wow.
S-E-C-T, sect, not S-E-X. I'm not Disney. I'm not Walt Disney. Okay. Disney's the one with the S-E-X. Okay.
I can't remember, Savage. You might be right. And there was a bobcat standing 2 feet to the left of me at the front door. I didn't see him until I was straight beside him. He didn't come out and do his little kitty ninja on you, Corey. Hey, come for your blood. Judo chop. Kitty paw power. Slash. He didn't do that to you? Yeah. I'm trying to get caught up on the comments, guys. Sorry, I was trying to look for a picture of Dogen, and I thought I still had it, and I don't think I did. I knew. I just not where I thought it was. Excuse me. So I'm trying to get caught up here. He just kept on moving. Come on, Corey. You got in a ninja fight with a bobcat. Don't tell us a no different story. You were going with Corey foot power, and it was going bobcat claw power, slash. You know it. Come on, man.
Speaking of
trying
bobcat,
to paint a good picture here, baby.
Speaking of bobcat, all the sightings of the Black Panther. Just so we can talk about that for a second, I believe our species of the bobcat coming down from Canada that are the black lynx. It's the Canadian black lynx, and they're a big cat, and they do have long tails too. So, just putting that out there.
Yeah, I mean, look at a lot of stuff. Well, we have cougars here. Mountain lions. We used to have them, and then when we cut down the virgin pine forest that we had down here, we lost the wood bison. The wolves went away, grizz went away. Of course, hunting stuff like that out of existence too is another part of it. But a lot of that stuff's coming back. I've heard people talking about they've spotted wood bison back here again. I don't know. I haven't seen anything on it, but I've heard people talking about seeing wood bison again. And there's, when I moved down here, old timers were talking about grizz being here. Never seen one. I've seen plenty of black bear, never no grizz, but they're talking about they're making a comeback as well. And I know for a fact we've had cougars and Missouri timber wolves and Missouri red wolves here. In fact, I've got pictures of them on my game cam.
Well, and that just leads us to even speculate that there is a probability that the short-faced bear is still alive too, and its biggest predator, the biggest predator that it competed for food, would have been the saber-toothed tiger.
The Smilodon ones, yep. Hey, Roger. Yep. I
Hey,
mean,
Roger.
there's reports in the far north regions of the North American continent of woolly mammoths still running the tundras of the far north.
Exactly. So, I mean, to find a species like Dinopithecus or
Mm-hmm.
Gigantopithecus in North America is not that unusual. I don't believe it is. And I don't
No,
believe it ever would be unusual.
I've said this so many times on different shows. I do not believe an asteroid killed off the dinosaurs. I am sorry. Too much evidence suggests something completely different. If they did, why do we have giraffes? Why do we have elephants, horses, alligators, crocs? And the list goes on and on and on of species that lived during the time of the dinosaurs. We still have if the asteroid had killed them all off.
Exactly.
You know, look how many times the scientists has proven wrong on a daily basis of something that was extinct that we found out that they are not extinct. Ursula, that wasn't a brontosaurus. It's a type of long neck, but it wasn't a brontosaurus. I forgot what it's actually called. But you're talking about Mabimbe. If I can even talk today, the Mabimbe.
Brachiosaurus.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Brachiosaurus. Yeah. Um, but trying to make sure I get to everybody's comments here. Yeah, we got coyotes all around here too. Gosh dang, that chat. Every time I go to click on something, the chat jumps and I miss it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, all these things. There's still things that's around that was around back then. So quit messing with my heater, dude. You ain't got to lay up against that thing. You're not the only one that gets to enjoy this heater. Learn to share things. Sorry, Boar is being Boar.
I hate it when animals act up like animals.
Oh God.
Oh,
Um,
sorry, I'm getting
but
the
yeah,
birthday stuff together for people right now. So just go ahead and keep
heck
talking.
yeah. But so I mean, it's things like the short faced bear, Dinopithecus. Oh my gosh, I just forgot the name. Um,
Gigantopithecus,
yeah,
Brachiosaurus.
Gigantopithecus. Yeah, I mean all this stuff. The fact that they're being seen nowadays, I can't tell nobody no, you're not seeing it because we're proving wrong daily that things
Yeah,
are still around that they didn't. Um, it's I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you all have got your opinion. That's just mine. I mean, I'm just sorry. I think very logically, and whenever you still have things that's still around, logic dictates that these other stuff are still around too. Dude, I got mine plugged in. It's not too bad here. It's 43 degrees, but in the computer room it was a little chilly, so I had to break out the space heater. Boar likes to lay up against my space heater, and then he farts in it. And that space heater, you got a warm fart blowing in your face.
he
Or he likes
farts
to lean
in
up against so much that it takes. He does. I don't know what his upset. He loves to fart in my space heater. Like his favorite thing to do is have his butt literally pressed up against my space heater. Then he'll just sit there and fart away, and that's why I'm going. This is because of him. But he loves to lay against it so much that it takes the pressure off of it. And man, yeah, it's Hey, take it easy, Jason.
Uh,
I
well,
figured you were Camo.
I'm
Um,
uh, I'm going to be doing a few things this afternoon. So, and seeing as I got crap for sleep last night, I'm probably going to be calling it short today. But it's not far off to think that a giant species that lived back during the days um, still exists. I mean, it really isn't. And when you compare
Mhm.
all the different names that humans all around the world give the same creatures that are seen on a daily basis different names, it's no wonder that we call the same thing different things when we witness it. What could be a devil monkey to somebody that sees it late at night, could be a dog man to somebody else. It could be,
Mhm.
it could
Yeah.
be the Dinopithecus to somebody else. I mean, it really, it's not that far off. It really isn't, especially when you compare side by side. There's not much differences physicality wise as you would imagine that there could be. Um, and like I said, the average report of the Dinopithecus back in the day was 5 to 6 feet tall at the shoulders, and when it was on all fours, so that could
Mhm.
stand anywhere from, you know, say 7 to 12 feet tall. It really could.
Mhm.
That's not uncommon to see that happen, depending on how far it hunches over. Um, Now, did it have the ability to stand on its hind legs for an undisclosed amount of time? It could have genetically evolved over the years, to where it would walk
Mhm.
that way. Um, so yeah, that's not uncommon to find out that possibly could be part of it too. So it's just, oh, are you kidding? Wow, unbelievable. YouTube is so.
And the thing, yeah. Um, the thing is, you brought up something. You and I have talked about this. I don't know how many freaking times. When you are stressed to the max by seeing something that you just cannot comprehend, not only is your adrenaline running 90 to nothing, your fear factor is going through the roof, and your brain is going 90 to nothing. Trying to make out what you're seeing can lead into one, misidentification, or two, complete meltdown. I mean, it's just, I mean, it happens.
Mhm.
People in a horrific crime incident, when their levels are elevated to that way, they have the same reaction as if somebody walked out and seen the Shiai Tonka for the first time. I mean, it's just, that is human natures. That's just, it is. Hey, Candy, no worries.
How we doing, Candy?
So, I mean, this all plays into this, and this is why it's hard for us to kind of pinpoint things down, because of that human fear factor and adrenaline running the way that it is. We can only go off of what the reporter says, and they could be seeing something totally different than what it is. Pareidolia has a huge factor in this as well. This is why we constantly have talked about the pareidolia factor on things. You have to be very careful with that.
Yep.
Because I'm sorry, not every shadow or stick or something like that is a cryptid. You know, orbs,
Yeah,
another
that's true.
example. We're dealing with paranormal. I love orbs, but even not every single orb is paranormal. It's going to be an insect. It's going to be dust. I mean, when they trigger off motion sensors, that's when I get excited when it deals with orbs. All this is the same concept, no matter what field of study you're looking into. All this has to play in it. Fear stops a lot of things, but one of the biggest things that stops evolution is mental capabilities. Not being able to ascend to the higher dimensional way of thinking, which causes you to see things in the fourth dimension instead of a third dimension like we do now. We're in the fourth dimension looking into the third. You can't ascend to the fifth dimension to look into the fourth to see things differently, but each dimension sees something different from the dimension previous to it, because that is as far as your brain will evolve to. And that has a lot to do with that stopping evolution. It's mind control. It's like getting a good buzz going in reflecting with nonsense. It does, man. Yeah. Yeah, it does. If you hear an orb growl at you, it's paranormal. Yeah, Corey, absolutely. Yeah. But we know at these frequencies jacking with our mental status and stuff like that, that has a lot to do with causing us not to evolve to ascend to the next dimension. So I mean, a lot of that has to, and fears want to be a part of it. You're not wrong on that. I agree with you. Fear has a lot to do with it, but it's also several other things involved too. You know, it's all about mind control, and certain organizations are doing the mind control thing, which has kept us away from it.
Yeah,
I think we're on the way to the yes. Um, Amy, yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. Yeah, we're on the same thinking frequency. Yeah, yeah. It really, I mean, and sadly, because of that fear, or because of that brainwashing, there are people who's not going to ascend to the fifth dimension. So
Exactly.
when you're in the fifth dimension, you're down upon the fourth dimension that we're living in now. We're going to see things from that fifth dimension on our dimension differently.
Yep. Well, everybody, if you could please like and share this out as much as you can. I think the theories, I mean, there's sound theories, but then again, they're only theories because none of us are the expert, especially me and Eric. And you guys in the chat, you make up these conclusions that it really it deserves more to be investigated into the whole thing. It really does. Some of the comments and stuff in the chat are amazing, what people are coming up with, and I appreciate the hell out of everybody in the chat. I really do. It's an amazing group of people. So, but that being said, what are you doing later on today, Eric, as far as your show goes? Anything or?
Yeah, we're going to have campfire chats tonight, which, I haven't been able to do a whole. I've been so busy, I can't tell you what's happened around here. I'll be honest with you. I'm freaking zombified by the time I get home. But, campfire chats is a good place for you to come in and share your encounters. We like to listen to it. We like to hear it. That's why that show was created by the subscribers. It is the subscribers show. So I mean, it is a safe place for you to come and share your encounters, and we love hearing that stuff. I mean, we'll probably hit a little bit more on the stuff that I captured last weekend if that's what people's wanting to do. If you guys haven't watched last Sunday's show, I'm telling you guys, you missed out. And you can talk to anybody who was in this chat to listen to that show. Man, it was amazing. No, it's on YouTube, Overbuilt. I'm trying to figure out. I cannot figure out how to link my Rumble to my podcast platform or my to Talk Studio. I can't figure it out how to do that. So I'm trying. I've been trying to do it.
Well, and tomorrow morning we're coming on at 11 a.m. again. Eric will unfortunately be with somebody else doing a fundraiser. But I'm thinking maybe I can talk Corey to be my special co-host with me tomorrow morning. We'll see what that goes over. And we'll start with that and see what happens. And, just be a bunch of friends sitting around drinking coffee tomorrow morning. So, and then Tuesday night at 10 p.m., I have the Paranormal News Hour I'm putting out. But also Sunday, I'll be going on a podcast, Monstrous, the podcast. It's a new friend of mine who's a friend of Ryan's that is going to have me on his podcast. And first of probably many. And then Tuesday at like 5 o'clock Eastern, I'll be going on a radio station that was rescheduled from today. to next Tuesday at 5 p.m. And the radio station it covers the Kentucky and Tennessee area, and probably parts of West Virginia, I would say. But yeah, it's going to be a busy week for me, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, now what about your books? What do you got going on with your books, Eric?
The other day, Vangerian Guard, Book One's Hows of Battle was released on audio. So now 5 out of 6 of my books are available on audio, along with Kindle, paperback, and hardback. I've not had a chance to write lately. I have been way too busy, so I've got to try to get some time together. I've got to work on my bike here today, so I'm not going to be able to write this weekend. I'm hoping either sometime this week or next weekend I can start getting my button gear and start writing. But if you go to Patreon, I think, yes, if you go here and you want to be one of my IHNYAR readers, it's $10 a month. You get to look at my books as I'm working on them, and I want your input on them. I want how you think the story's going, how I'm taking it. I mean, Griff is the one who got me into creating this tier group on my Patreon. He's a member of it right now. Yeah, currently I'm almost done with Beast of the Ozarks First Kill, and so I'm hoping to have it done before too long so I can get it out for final editing and then published. So that's what I've got going on.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody, we will see you tomorrow morning. It's been a very, very informative hour and a half, and but I am exhausted and not getting any better. So we will see everybody tomorrow morning. Hopefully, if something happens, I will definitely be letting people know in advance. Okay. I've been feeling very, very run down lately, to say the least. So if you can, please like and heart this out, share it, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to go and get some rest, and peace, love, and blessings, everybody. We will see you in the morning.
Peace, love, and blessings, everyone.